people always, there's a word that's used in adoption which I've never liked, and we can say things because we are adoptive parents. The word negative tone that's given with women releasing their children is giving them up. I have never liked that. I don't think it's the right word. I think releasing is a different word, or giving them to somebody else. The idea of giving up just has such a negative tone to it, and I don't think it's true. I think there's a lot of people that want you to think that that's the way they're feeling, and so to people that are against adoption and things, but the idea of giving up is just not a correct term.
I wanted to be a mom, and we knew based on our years of trying to get pregnant that that was not going to be possible unless we chose adoption.
So yes, that was our number one desire, was to be parents. And so as a result of trying on our own to have children unsuccessfully, we felt that that was an opportunity to be parents. It was me having a conversation with Debbie, and the most difficult part of it was her still desire to have her own children versus adoption. And I think the thing that got us over the edge was our thought that we could pursue both and then see where that went. And a reminder of what the true desire of our heart was to be parents, first and foremost.
We were really fortunate in that when we kind of started to spread the word through friends and through an attorney that we wanted to pursue adoption, between that point and when we actually adopted our first son, it was only about 5 months. So we were really fortunate. It was a much longer process with Nathaniel. We did different types of communication with people, but then
we did a resume, put a resume together. Pictures of us with Aaron and as a family, and talked about ourselves as a family. It was a different process completely.
I think people were really excited, especially his parents. I think though that it's still kind of a little bit of a transition, or not.
Well, with them, with our parents and our family, they had never experienced that before, so it's a whole new thing.
Right.
So there's a lot of fear involved in,
what if the birth mother changes her mind? It's sort of a protection for
us. Yeah.
We were interested in allowing or letting or gifting, however you want to verbalize it, both of the birth mothers that we adopted from, having to at least be able to have contact information like letters and pictures and whatnot, and then we also wanted them for sure to be able to see them at least once after they were born. We didn't, however, want to kind of be like a shared parenting where they were in their lives in a regular way. We wanted to be the parents and have them, our children, understand that we were their family.
Yeah. So you had to set boundaries too when it comes to that.
That was never really a decision other than we just decided, I guess,
from day one.
They would always know that word, and they would always hear that they didn't grow in mommy's tummy, they grew in another lady's tummy, and she wasn't able to take care of them. So it was, the word adoption was there from the very beginning of their lives.
Yeah.
So with our older son's birth mother, she went to an attorney who had resumes on file of couples that wanted to adopt. So we actually had met her through another venue, but she didn't know that we were looking to adopt until she went to the lawyer. With Nathaniel, with our younger son's adoption, there was a church organization that kept resumes. Well, it wasn't actually an agency, but it was a church organization, kind of like a para-agency that kept resumes on file.
I think with our oldest son, Aaron, I think he's been pretty stable. Yeah, he's been okay with it. He's come to grips. He never has had any issues. He also was able to meet his birth mom when he was 16. Younger son, we had one time that I will never forget. We had one issue. Was when our older son the birth mom liked to send him gifts, And even at Christmas, he would get a gift, and we not thinking too much about that. Um, Aaron opened a gift on Christmas one time from his birth mom, and Nathaniel at the time was 3 or 4 years younger than him, and he burst into tears. And at that point, I recognized that he felt that, and he had never received anything from his birth mom or any outreach or anything. And at that point, he saw something different in the two relationships. And it broke my heart to see that happen, and I felt like I should have never let that happen. But it did, and we dealt with it. And so we've seen since then that he's had some, I think, some issues. He doesn't like to talk a lot, so it's hard to draw things out of him. He's very emotionally stable also as a kid too, but at the same time, I think it's been a little harder for him. So.
Yeah, I would just add that he's definitely, from the time he was very little, 3 or 4, would make comments about his birth mother, say things like, "Well, I'm really angry at her," and I think he was able to articulate in little bits and pieces a sense of grief that he had, and I think every adopted child has some degree of that in one form or another, even if they're not conscious of it or don't talk about it. And then he's had definitely more desire to want to understand and more processing. Do they really love me, or what? So he's definitely needed more affirmation.
Yeah, we've had to affirm.
Yeah, we've had to affirm him
and
explain
speak truth.
Yeah.
Speak truth that she was unable to care for him, and she wanted a 2-parent family, a mom and a dad, and we were able to give him that gift, and she gave that gift to him. So he's recognized that for sure. I guess if you ask the question about what the overall experience was for us as adoptive parents, I would say, and how we feel as parents of adoptive children, the two things are, the experience was nothing like I would have ever expected. It was an unbelievable gift that I felt like I was given in both of my boys. And they're very different in personality, they're different in size, they're just different kids, and we've had to be able to deal with that in different ways, and their talents, different talents that they have. But as being a dad from when they were newborn babies, from the first day of holding them, I was committed to them and knew that they were my children. And
we're constantly aware of the fact that we wouldn't be parents without the decision that another human being, a woman, made to choose to carry her baby to terms, and to to be on the receiving end of someone handing you their child is indescribable and completely overwhelming. There are no words. There is no way to thank someone. It's a privilege to be chosen, and you are chosen at least in the United States, if you're doing domestic adoption. It's a privilege to earn the trust, and it's an absolutely overwhelming thing to see that this is my baby.
But then the social workers come out, and they come and do a visit or two visits. I couldn't understand why he wasn't asking us more about, the health of Aaron and how he's doing stable-wise, and at one point I asked him. I said, "Well, would you like to see his room?" And he said, "Sure, okay, let's do that." And so I took him to see his room, and then we came back to the table and we were talking a little bit more, and I just had it was a curious question. I said, "You're a great guy, and we've talked with you, but I'm very interested that you are asking more specifics to us about how Aaron's doing, and more curious about, about how things are going with us." And his comment to us was, "Well, it's like this. In my mind, adoptive parents have to work to have children.
That's true.
Anybody on around the corner, they can just pop them out and they have kids. And in my mind, those are the people that can have children easy are the ones that we should be doing more work with. You people that are doing adoptions, we're never concerned because we know how hard it is and how much work you have to put into this. And you want children.